This video is about Hope. He was a cleaner, until a businessman stepped in. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. Part 1. The Unseen Hero. In the heart of a bustling city, amidst towering skyscrapers and the endless hum of life, lived a man named Amir. He was a cleaner, a title he wore with quiet dignity. Each day he donned a well-worn uniform, its fabric frayed yet familiar, and navigated the streets with a broom in hand. To many, Amir was invisible, just another cog in the city's vast machine. But to him, every sweeping motion was an act of pride and purpose. Amir woke each dawn before the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink. As he prepared for his day, he found solace in the rhythm of his routine. He would brew a small cup of coffee, its steam warming his face, and gaze out of his tiny window at a world teeming with opportunities, yet always just out of reach. "Good morning, world," he would whisper, though no one could hear him. The morning light caught the dust motes dancing in the air, and for a brief moment he felt as though he belonged. But as the sun climbed higher, Amir would put on his cap, tie his shoes tightly, and step outside, ready to face the day. His route took him through a corporate district. Towering glass buildings reflected the sky, a facade of wealth and power. Inside those walls, business executives hurried past each other, immersed in their worlds. But outside, Amir carried on, sweeping the sidewalks and collecting the litter that others carelessly discarded. One rainy afternoon, as he cleaned the entrance of a high-rise, Amir noticed a man struggling against the wind. The businessman wore an expensive suit, his briefcase clutched tightly against his side. Just as he reached the door, a gust of wind knocked his hat off, sending it tumbling into a puddle. Amir paused, his heart tugging at the sight. Without a second thought, he stepped forward, quickly retrieving the hat, though it was now soaked. "Sir, your hat," Amir said, offering it with a smile. The businessman looked down, surprised. "Oh, thanks," he stammered, his brow furrowing as he took the dripping hat. "It's ruined now." Amir shrugged lightly. "It can be cleaned, just like the streets." The businessman blinked, momentarily taken aback. There was something in Amir's demeanor, a kind of quiet strength that pulled at him. "You're right, just like the streets." As the man walked away, Amir couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was somehow important. He returned to his work, but his thoughts lingered on the stranger. Each day blurred into the next, yet that brief connection rekindled his sense of humanity amid the isolation of his routine. Weeks passed, and one morning, Amir spotted the same businessman, this time dropping a stack of papers as he left the building. Without pause, Amir rushed to help. "Let me assist you, sir," he offered, gathering the papers scattered across the sidewalk. "Thanks again," the businessman said, a hint of recognition in his voice. "You're always out here, aren't you?" Amir nodded, brushing the dirt from his hands. "It's what I do. I find beauty in keeping our city clean." The businessman raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "You have a different perspective than most. What's your name?" "Amir," he replied simply. "Amir, I'm David. I must say your outlook is refreshing." David began to slow his pace each day, greeting Amir with a nod or a wave. Over time, they exchanged small talk, and Amir learned that David was a businessman with aspirations of making a difference. He began to see the man beneath the suit, a person striving to balance ambition with empathy. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of color, Amir sat on a bench, reflecting on his life. Though his work was often thankless, he found joy in the little things: the children playing in the park, the laughter of passers-by, the way the world glowed at dusk. "Hey, Amir!" David's voice broke through his thoughts. "Mind if I join you?" "Oh, of course, David." Amir smiled, shifting to make space. They talked about their lives, dreams, and struggles. David shared how he wished to create a company that not only prospered but uplifted those around it. The idea sparked something in Amir, and he opened up about his own aspirations, his desire for a better life, to one day own a small business of his own. "I just want to create something meaningful," Amir said, his voice tinged with longing. "Something that shows the beauty of hard work." "Why not?" David replied, leaning forward with interest. "What's stopping you?" Amir hesitated. "I don't have the resources, the connections. I'm just a cleaner." "Not just a cleaner," David corrected gently. "You're a person with dreams. That's the most important thing." Amir felt a swell of hope, but doubt soon crept in. "Dreams don't pay bills, David." "Maybe not yet," he replied. "But every big thing starts small. I want to help you." Amir's heart raced at the thought. "How?" David leaned back, his wheels turning. "Let's meet regularly. I'll help you develop a plan. You've got the passion. I can help with the rest." Days turned into weeks, and their meetings became a cherished part of Amir's routine. They discussed business ideas over coffee, sketching plans on napkins and brainstorming how Amir could turn his vision into reality. Amir found himself invigorated, the spark of hope igniting into a flame. With each passing day, he grew more excited about possibilities. A small cleaning service, perhaps, or a community initiative that employed those struggling to find work. But as Amir felt his dreams inch closer, life threw a curveball. One morning, as he arrived at work, he found a notice pinned to the community board. The small housing complex he called home was being sold for redevelopment. "Amir, you okay?" a colleague asked, sensing his distress. "They're evicting us," he murmured, staring blankly at the notice. The weight of uncertainty pressed heavily upon him. Where would he go? Days turned into a flurry of panic as Amir searched for a new place to live. Each door he knocked on seemed to close in his face. Options dwindled, and the fear of losing everything threatened to consume him. David noticed Amir's distress and reached out. "You seem overwhelmed. What's going on?" Amir hesitated, the words caught in his throat, but the kindness in David's eyes compelled him to share. "I'm losing my home. I don't know where to go." David's expression shifted to concern. "We'll figure this out. You're not alone in this." Amir felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. "I can't burden you with this." "You're never a burden, Amir. Let me help." David insisted, his voice firm with conviction. Together, they navigated the difficult terrain of housing agencies and shelters. David used his connections to reach out to landlords and local organizations that could provide temporary support. Amir's spirit wavered as each day brought new challenges. But with David's unwavering support, he found himself discovering strength he didn't know he possessed. They secured a temporary place to stay, a small room that felt both like a refuge and a reminder of the battles he faced. Even in the darkest moments, Amir found solace in his dreams. Every night, he would jot down ideas for his business, sketching plans and concepts that fueled his spirit. "Amir," David said one evening, flipping through the pages of Amir's notes. "This is incredible. You're sitting on a gold mine here." Amir chuckled lightly. "It's just ideas." No, this is potential. Let's get to work." With renewed motivation, Amir and David set out to refine Amir's vision. They created a business plan, researched potential clients, and mapped out a path forward. The camaraderie and shared purpose lifted Amir's spirits high, rekindling his hope for a brighter future. As they stood in the glow of a new dawn each day, Amir felt the warmth of human connection and the power of resilience envelop him. David's belief in him illuminated a path that had once felt shrouded in darkness. Little by little, Amir began to realize that being a cleaner was not a reflection of his worth. It was merely a chapter in his story, a chapter that was far from over. With David's friendship and support, he was ready to turn the page toward a future brimming with hope, resilience, and the beauty of the human spirit. And in that moment, Amir understood that every ending is but a new beginning, filled with endless possibilities waiting to unfold. Part 2. The Path Unfolds. The city skyline stretched high above Amir as he stood at the window of his temporary room, the early morning light spilling through the glass. He was still getting used to this new place, a modest room in a shared house not far from the streets he loved to sweep. It felt like a refuge, but also a reminder of the chaos that had nudged its way into his life. David had been a steady presence during these turbulent times. They met often, continuing to build on Amir's dream of starting a small cleaning service. It was a flicker of hope amid uncertainty, illuminating the darkness that had settled in his heart. "Let's begin with a name," David suggested one afternoon as they sat in a small cafe, the aroma of coffee wafting through the air. "What do you want people to feel when they hear about your business?" Amir thought carefully, stirring his coffee absent-mindedly. "I want them to feel cared for, like their space is not just clean but rejuvenated, like someone truly values their environment." David grinned, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "What about Renewal Clean? It suggests a fresh start, a new beginning." Amir's heart swelled at the suggestion. "I love that. Renewal Clean. It feels right." The words rolled off his tongue like a promise. As they brainstormed, Amir felt a rush of excitement, the kind he hadn't experienced in a long time. But amid the thrill, a voice in his mind whispered doubts, reminding him of his financial limitations and the challenges ahead. "Amir, what's wrong?" David asked, catching the subtle shift in Amir's demeanor. "It's just, what if I fail? What if I can't make this work?" Amir confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. David leaned in, his expression serious. "Failure is part of the journey. Every successful person has faced setbacks. It's how you rise that defines you, not the falls. You have the strength to overcome them." Amir nodded, feeling the warmth of David's support envelop him. The fear still lingered, but it began to feel more like a companion than an adversary, a reminder that he was alive, striving. With David by his side, they began to map out their strategy. They researched local businesses that needed cleaning services and reached out to them, putting together proposals. Amir's heart raced with each email sent, each call made, and with every response, he felt a sense of accomplishment growing within him. Weeks turned to months, and slowly but surely, their efforts began to pay off. They landed a contract with a small tech startup, eager to support local enterprises. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Amir felt an exhilarating mix of fear and excitement. "Amir, this is it," David exclaimed during their meeting with the tech company. "This is your dream beginning to take flight." Amir took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing heart. "I hope I can deliver. What if they don't like my work? Remember the cleaning you do every day. You pour your heart into it. Do that here, and you'll be just fine." David clapped Amir on the back, a gesture of unwavering belief. Setting out the next morning with his supplies carefully packed, Amir felt a swell of determination. He arrived at the tech company, greeted by a bright, open reception area filled with the hum of creativity. "Welcome. You must be Amir," the receptionist said, her smile warm and inviting. "Yes, thank you," he replied, trying to mask the nervousness bubbling within. As he moved through the office, cleaning and tidying up, he couldn't help but notice the vibrant atmosphere. Employees collaborated and laughed, their energy infectious. Amir poured his heart into every sweep of the broom, every wipe of the cloth. At the end of the day, he stood back to admire his work. The office sparkled, reflecting the sun's rays that streamed through the windows. "Not just clean, but renewed," he whispered to himself, a smile breaking across his face. As he left, the manager approached him. "Amir, this looks fantastic. Thank you for your hard work. We'd love to have you back regularly." Gratitude washed over Amir, feeling like a small victory in a world that often felt overwhelming. He called David, his voice trembling with excitement. "They want me back. I did it. I knew you could." David cheered, his joy contagious. This is just the beginning. But as the joy of his accomplishment settled in, the shadows of Amir's life resurfaced. The evictions around his old building were still echoing in his mind. He worried about his neighbors, his friends who had been forced to move. The reality of his situation weighed heavily on him, and despite his growing business, he couldn't shake the sadness that came with the thought of losing his community. "Amir, you seem distant," David remarked one evening as they reviewed their finances. "What's going on?" Amir sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I'm happy about my progress, but I can't forget those who are struggling. They're losing their homes, their lives." David listened intently, nodding in understanding. It's good to care, Amir, but you can also be a beacon of hope. Maybe there's a way to help them." "Like what?" Amir asked, intrigued. "What if part of your business proceeds went toward helping people find housing? You could hire those in need as part of your team." Amir's eyes widened. Brilliant, David." The idea sparked something deep within him. "I want to give back, to create opportunities for others." "Then let's do it. You can start small. Perhaps offer jobs to those who are struggling to find work. It can be an initiative of Renewal Clean." As they developed this new vision, Amir felt invigorated. This was more than a business. It was a lifeline. With each step, he began to see how interconnected lives could be, how one person's rise could lift another. As Renewal Clean grew, Amir began to hire individuals from his community. He met people with stories that mirrored his own, each carrying dreams and the desire to succeed. He created a culture of kindness, a space where they felt valued and seen. "Welcome to the team." Amir smiled as he welcomed his new hires, all eager to contribute to something bigger. He shared his story with them, his journey from cleaner to entrepreneur, emphasizing that their worth wasn't determined by circumstances. "Together, we can build a path to brighter futures." His heart swelled at the sight of them, working side by side. They transformed not just spaces, but lives, scrubbing away the grime of despair and replacing it with hope. As Amir's business flourished, he also worked tirelessly to support his community. He partnered with local organizations to provide resources for housing and employment. He became a voice for the voiceless, advocating for those who felt discarded by society. One day, at a community gathering, Amir stepped up to speak. The crowd listened intently as he shared his journey, his struggles, his dreams, and his belief in the power of kindness. "Every one of us has a story," Amir spoke passionately. "We can choose to rise together. Let's build a community where no one is left behind." The applause was thunderous, filling Amir with a sense of belonging he had long yearned for. He realized that his life, once defined by the broom he wielded, had transformed into something beautiful and meaningful. Months later, as Amir stood in the same cafe where his dreams had taken shape, he raised a cup of coffee to David. "To friendship and new beginnings," he toasted, gratitude radiating from him. "To resilience and the power of the human spirit," David replied, a glimmer in his eye. With renewed hope, Amir looked around at the bustling cafe, the laughter and chatter of a community brought together. He felt a profound sense of peace wash over him. In this moment, he understood that life was a mosaic of struggles and triumphs, each piece blending to create a masterpiece. He was no longer just a cleaner. He was a catalyst for change, a beacon of light shining through the darkness. And as the sun set on another day, Amir knew that with each challenge faced, he would continue to rise, armed with a broom, a dream, and an unwavering belief in the beauty of the human spirit. Part 3. A New Dawn. The days turned into weeks, and Amir watched as Renewal Clean blossomed like spring flowers breaking through the winter frost. With every new hire, every completed job, and every heartfelt thank you from clients, he felt the weight of his former struggles lessen. Yet, as the seasons changed, so too did the challenges he faced. One chilly morning, Amir stood outside the cafe, sipping his coffee while gazing at the vibrant city bustling around him. He had an important meeting with a potential client, a local nonprofit focused on enhancing community spaces. As he prepared himself mentally, he felt a familiar swell of anxiety. "Amir," David's voice broke through his thoughts, grounding him. "Remember, you've got this. Just be yourself." "I know," Amir replied, trying to muster confidence. "It's just, what if they don't see the value in my vision?" David placed a reassuring hand on Amir's shoulder. "You've already changed lives, my friend. Just share your passion. Show them what Renewal Clean stands for." Taking a deep breath, Amir nodded, channeling the strength he had cultivated over the months. As he entered the building for the meeting, he was greeted by a warm smile from the nonprofit's director, a woman named Sarah. "Amir, so glad you could make it," Sarah exclaimed, leading him into a bright conference room adorned with photos of community events and smiling faces. "Thank you for having me, Sarah," Amir replied, his nerves slightly calmed by her enthusiasm. As they discussed potential partnerships, Amir shared how Renewal Clean aimed not just to clean spaces but to rejuvenate communities. Every person deserves to feel valued, to have a clean environment that reflects their worth. We aim to uplift those around us. Sarah's eyes sparkled with interest. "I love your philosophy, Amir. It aligns perfectly with our mission. We want to create spaces where everyone feels welcome and inspired." The conversation flowed naturally, and Amir felt a sense of purpose that lit a fire in his belly. They discussed various initiatives, including community cleanup events and workshops that could engage local residents. "Imagine a day where we come together as a community, cleaning parks, painting murals, and celebrating our shared space," Amir suggested, his eyes bright with excitement. Sarah nodded vigorously. "That's exactly the kind of energy we need. Together, we can make it happen." As the meeting concluded, Sarah extended her hand. "Let's collaborate, Amir. Together we can create a movement." With a smile that felt like a weight lifted, Amir shook her hand. "Thank you, Sarah. I can't wait to get started." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of planning and preparation. Amir and David dedicated hours to organizing the upcoming event, a community cleanup dubbed Renewal Day. They printed flyers, engaged local businesses for sponsorship, and reached out to residents, spreading the word far and wide. However, just as enthusiasm peaked, challenges arose. A week before the event, the weather forecast threatened rain, and Amir's heart sank. He worried that people would lose interest, and that all their hard work would go to waste. "Amir, take a breath," David advised, sensing his anxiety. "Weather can be unpredictable, but we can adapt. Let's plan for it." "What if no one shows up?" Amir fretted, his hands gripping the edge of the table. "Then we'll clean up wherever we can, rain or shine. The spirit of Renewal Day is about community, not perfect conditions," David reassured him, planting a seed of hope. Encouraged by David's unwavering support, Amir pushed forward. They secured tents and rain gear, ensuring that no matter the weather, the event would go on. As the day approached, excitement grew within the community, and Amir felt an electric buzz of anticipation. Finally, the day arrived. Amir stood outside the venue early that morning, looking up at the overcast sky. He could feel the humidity in the air, but that did not dampen his spirit. People began to arrive, their faces lit with determination despite the looming gray clouds. "Amir," a voice called out. It was Sarah, flanked by a small team of volunteers. "We're ready to get started." As the event kicked off, Amir felt a rush of adrenaline. He welcomed the crowd, sharing his story of resilience and the importance of community. "This isn't just about cleaning. It's about coming together, supporting one another, and celebrating our shared space." The crowd cheered, and Amir's heart swelled. They split into teams, armed with trash bags, paint, and brushes. As Amir moved through the various groups, laughter and camaraderie filled the air. Then, just as they began to work, the clouds opened up, pouring down rain. Amir's heart sank for a moment. He feared this would send everyone home. But, to his surprise, the volunteers kept working, laughing as they splashed through puddles. "Embrace it," David shouted, splashing water playfully at Amir. This is the spirit of Renewal Day. Amir couldn't help but laugh, joining in the fun. They painted vibrant murals in the rain, adding color to the gray. Each stroke of paint felt like a celebration, a testament to their unity despite the weather. As the rain continued, Amir felt a deep sense of fulfillment wash over him. They weren't just cleaning. They were building a community, one brushstroke at a time. When the rain finally let up, they stood back to admire their work. The once dull park now a canvas of color and hope. As the event wrapped up, Amir gathered everyone together. Thank you for your incredible spirit today. You have shown me that community isn't just about sunshine. It's about coming together in any weather. Applause erupted, and Amir caught Sarah's eye. She smiled, clearly as moved as he was. This is just the beginning, Amir. Imagine how much we can accomplish together. With the success of Renewal Day echoing in his heart, Amir returned to his daily routine, but he felt changed. He had witnessed firsthand the strength of community, how resilience can blossom in unexpected ways. Days turned to weeks again, and Renewal Clean continued to grow. Amir's efforts caught the attention of local news outlets, and he was invited to share his story on a morning talk show. Standing under the bright studio lights, he felt the familiar flutter of nerves. "Just be yourself," David whispered backstage, offering a reassuring nod. As Amir stepped onto the stage, he took a deep breath. The host greeted him with warmth, encouraging him to share his journey. "How did you go from being a cleaner to starting your own business?" Amir shared his story, how kindness had sparked connections and led to his aspirations. He spoke about the importance of community, how every act of service, no matter how small, ripples outward. "In a world where it's easy to feel invisible," he explained, "we can choose to see each other. We can uplift one another, create opportunities, and build a better tomorrow." The audience listened intently, and Amir felt their energy, the weight of his words resonating deeply. When he finished, applause filled the studio, and the host smiled. "You're an inspiration, Amir. Thank you for sharing your story." As he left the stage, he felt lighter, buoyed by the warmth of new connections. But as always, Amir returned to his roots, to the streets he loved to sweep. Each evening, he took time to walk through the neighborhoods, greeting everyone he met. One day, as he was cleaning a park, he spotted a familiar face, a child he had met during Renewal Day. She approached him with a big grin, her hands clutching colorful drawings. "Amir, look what I made," she exclaimed, presenting her artwork, a depiction of the park, filled with flowers and laughing children. Amir knelt down, his heart swelling with joy. "This is beautiful. You've captured the spirit of our park. Will you come to see it again?" she asked, her eyes shining with hope. "Of course, this park is ours and we'll keep it beautiful together," he promised, his voice filled with sincerity. As they walked together, Amir felt a renewed sense of purpose. Moments like these reminded him that he was not just a cleaner, but a catalyst for change. He was part of a larger tapestry of humanity, woven together through love, kindness, and resilience. Months later, as Amir stood in front of a community center he had helped renovate, he reflected on how far he had come. The once overlooked cleaner had transformed into a community leader, a voice for those who felt unheard. He looked around at smiling faces, friends, families, and neighbors coming together, and he realized that the beauty of the human spirit shone brightest when they united for a common cause. With a heart full of gratitude, Amir raised the broom high, laughing as he declared, "Together, we'll keep sweeping away the shadows and creating spaces of light." And as laughter and cheers echoed around, Amir knew that he had found his purpose. Through every struggle, challenge, and triumph, he was not alone. He had built a community that embraced him, just as he embraced them, and together they would continue to rise, resilient and unyielding, forging a path toward endless possibilities. Part 4. The Heart of Community. As the sun rose over the city, Amir took a moment to breathe deeply, savoring the warmth of the rays pouring through his window. Renewal Clean was thriving, and each day brought opportunities that filled him with hope. Yet, he knew that with growth came responsibility, and he was determined to ensure that this journey would uplift not only himself, but everyone in his community. One morning, Amir arrived at his makeshift office, a cozy corner of the cafe where he'd first launched his dream. David was already there, reviewing the latest contracts. The aroma of fresh coffee filled the air, a reminder of the small joys that had become part of their routine. "Good morning, Amir." David beamed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "We have a meeting today with a potential client who wants to hire us to clean several local schools. This could be huge for us." Amir's heart raced at the thought. Schools. That would mean a steady income and more opportunities to hire people from the community. The prospect of employing those in need ignited a fire within him. "Exactly. And think of the impact we can have on the kids. A clean environment can inspire learning and creativity," David added, his enthusiasm palpable. As they prepared for the meeting, Amir couldn't shake the weight of responsibility he felt. Would they see the value in not just cleanliness, but the heart behind Renewal Clean? Would they recognize the potential for change that lay within their partnership? The meeting took place in the conference room of a local education board, where Amir and David met with the principal of a nearby school. Her name was Miss Collins, and she was passionate about creating a nurturing environment for her students. "Thank you for coming, Amir and David," Miss Collins said, shaking their hands with a welcoming smile. "I've heard wonderful things about your business and your commitment to the community." "Thank you for having us," Amir replied, his nerves easing slightly. "Our goal is to foster a sense of pride in every space we clean, especially for children. They deserve an environment that feels safe and inspiring." As Amir presented their vision, he shared stories from Renewal Day, the community initiative that had brought people together. "Every person we hire has a story, and together we're not just cleaning. We're creating opportunities for those who need it most." Miss Collins listened intently, nodding as he spoke. "I love that idea, Amir. It's important for our students to see role models who reflect the diversity of our community. You're not just a cleaner, you're a mentor." Amir felt a rush of gratitude, knowing that his words resonated with her. "That's exactly our intention. Together we can inspire a generation." By the end of the meeting, Miss Collins agreed to a trial contract, and Amir and David walked out onto the sunlit street, buoyed by their success. "We did it!" "This is a significant step forward," David exclaimed, high-fiving Amir. "Yes, but we need to deliver on our promise," Amir replied, a sense of determination washing over him. "Let's ensure we show them the heart of Renewal Clean." In the weeks that followed, Amir and his team worked diligently to maintain the school's cleanliness. They hired several individuals from the community, providing training and creating an environment that encouraged growth. Despite the challenges that arose, like unexpected repairs and supply shortages, Amir's unwavering spirit kept the team motivated. One afternoon, while sweeping the school hallways, Amir was approached by a young girl named Maya. Her bright eyes sparkled with curiosity as she watched him work. "Hi, you're the cleaner, right?" she asked, her voice filled with wonder. Amir smiled, kneeling to meet her gaze. "I am, but I'm also the owner of Renewal Clean. I'm here to help make your school a better place." Maya's face lit up. "I love how clean it is. It makes me happy to come to school." Her innocent enthusiasm warmed Amir's heart. "That's exactly why we do this. Everyone deserves to feel happy and comfortable in their space." With each interaction like this, Amir found renewed motivation to push forward, to continue creating a ripple effect of positivity in the community. However, as the workload increased, so did the pressure. Amir often found himself working late into the night, poring over contracts and budgets. David noticed the toll this was taking. "Amir, you're pushing yourself too hard," he said one evening as they wrapped up. "You need to take a break. Remember, we can't pour from an empty cup." "I know, David. It's just, I feel responsible. There are so many people counting on us," Amir replied, his voice tinged with frustration. David placed a reassuring hand on Amir's shoulder. "We're in this together. Lean on me when it gets heavy. You don't have to carry it all alone." Amir took a deep breath, reminding himself of the support surrounding him. "You're right. I'll try to take a step back." But the strain of the workload continued to weigh heavily on him. One evening after a particularly long day, Amir sat in his room, staring blankly at the wall. The exhaustion seeped into his bones, and for the first time, doubt began to creep in. "What if I can't keep this up? What if I let everyone down?" he thought. Just then, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Maya. She had sent a drawing of the school, a colorful depiction of her classroom with smiling friends and a sparkling sun. Underneath, she had written, "Thank you for making our school bright." Tears brimmed in Amir's eyes as he stared at the drawing. "This is why I do it," he whispered to himself. "This is why it matters." With renewed determination, Amir decided to reach out for help. He called David, his voice steady as he spoke. "I need to talk. Can we meet?" Later that week, they sat down in the same cafe, and Amir laid out his feelings. "I've been struggling to balance everything. I don't want to fail those who believe in us." David listened carefully, nodding understandingly. "It's okay to ask for help, Amir. Delegating tasks isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strength. You have a team now. Let them support you." Amir felt a weight lift off his shoulders. "You're right. I've been trying to do it all alone." Together, they began mapping out a plan to streamline their operation. They assigned roles, ensuring everyone contributed their strengths. By empowering his team, Amir felt a sense of relief, knowing he wasn't alone in this journey. As the weeks passed, the community continued to thrive. Maya's drawing became a symbol of hope for Amir, reminding him of the difference they were making. One day, he surprised the students by organizing a mural painting event, inviting them to help create a vibrant art piece for their school. "Let's fill this wall with our dreams," Amir announced, excitement bubbling in the air. The children cheered, eager to take part in the transformation. As they painted together, Amir watched as laughter and creativity blended, each child adding their unique touch. Maya's bright colors stood out, and Amir felt a swell of pride, knowing they were fostering a space where children could dream big. When the mural was complete, Amir stepped back, admiring the collective effort. "You all made this happen," he exclaimed, beaming with joy. "This is a reflection of our community, full of life, color, and hope." The students clapped, and Amir felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. He realized that this journey was not just about him. It was a collective effort to uplift each other, to create a tapestry of resilience and kindness. As Renewal Clean continued to flourish, Amir received an unexpected call from a local news station. They wanted to feature his story and the impact Renewal Clean was having on the community. "I'm so proud of you, Amir," David exclaimed when he heard the news. "This is your chance to inspire even more people." "Will anyone care?" Amir responded, still uncertain. "Absolutely. Your story resonates with so many, and it shows the power of community. Just be yourself," David encouraged. On the day of the interview, Amir stood in front of the camera, his heart racing. The host welcomed him warmly, and as he began to share his experiences, he felt a surge of confidence. Renewal Clean isn't just about cleaning. It's about community, connection, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance, Amir expressed passionately. "We can lift each other up, no matter our circumstances." After the interview aired, Amir was flooded with messages of support and encouragement. People from various parts of the city reached out, eager to collaborate, volunteer, or help in any way they could. Days later, Amir and David organized a community meeting, inviting everyone to come together. The cafe buzzed with energy as people filled the room, eager to join forces. "I want to thank each of you for your support," Amir began, his voice steady. "Together we can expand our mission. Let's uplift our community even more, through mentorship programs, job training, and creating safe spaces for everyone." The crowd erupted in applause, and Amir felt surrounded by a wave of hope and determination. They discussed ideas, aspirations, and how they could create lasting change. As the meeting came to a close, Amir looked around the room, filled with faces that